You step into a dingy apartment. Ugly yellow walls face you, a dartboard to your right, and loads of trash scattered on the floor and tables. It's immediately clear the protagonist and her partner are not taking care of their living space. It's quiet. You don't need music to set the tone here.
What a day. Professor Watt was his usual miserable self, and that test was a killer. Hopefully I can just relax and... Of course, Liam didn't do the laundry or clean. I'll have to do a load of laundry. I have an interview for a job tomorrow and have nothing to wear. I'll gather these clothes up and head to the laundry room in the basement. I'm going to have to talk to Liam later. I'm too upset and tired to go through it again. He's going to have to pull it together for this baby.
We have a job interview tomorrow, but as stated by Sara, all of our clothes are dirty. We need to wash them. We're also told that she's pregnant. Walking around the apartment, we see how sad the living situation really is. This is one of those games where you're really rewarded for inspecting every item. While not all items are necessary to inspect, Sara's commentary adds small depth to her character and helps build the kind of world that we've stepped into. Before I go deeper into this game, I really implore you to play it. I'll end up referencing this much more later, but it really plays out like a cheesy 80s horror movie. When going to the bathroom door, you can't hear it, but Liam, Sara's boyfriend, is dealing with one too many cases of beer. I choose to believe that's what all those cans scattered around the apartment are, and you can't change my mind. Inspecting the cabinets, Sara lays out every college student's favorite foods. Noodles, tuna, and canned beans. The diet of any self-respecting college student. And within the kitchen, by the closet, are cases of soda. This will come into play later, I promise. Our mission, as of right now, is to clean our dirty clothes. I love that one of these psychos just plopped a jean jacket onto the kitchen floor. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it's just one of the last places I'd imagine an article of clothing to be. After inspecting literally everything I could set my eyes on in the apartment, and after picking up all the clothes, we can head down to the basement. The hallway is long and disgusting. It reminds me of something out of Silent Hill, to be honest. It's not only our apartment unit that isn't kept nice, it's the entire building, as said by Sara when inspecting any of the fire extinguishers or AC units. The poor state of the building doesn't even seem to surprise her anymore. As said by Sara, and what we witnessed later on, we have a neighbor who is a kind man. She goes on to say that she's glad to have at least one kind neighbor. The next door down the hall has a newspaper at the foot, but maybe that's none of our business. Inspecting the door, Sara mentions that a woman and her son live here, but that she hasn't seen either of them in about a week. Being a little nosy and reading the newspaper, it says, "Womb Ripper strikes again." In the early hours of the 30th, authorities were called when a passerby found a terribly mangled corpse haphazardly tossed on the nearby grounds. Sources indicate that the woman was indeed pregnant, and just like the previous victims, the fetus was cut out and assumed to be taken by the assailant. This is now the fourth victim in as many weeks, and authorities are struggling to come up with any leads in one of the most gruesome crime sprees the city has ever endured. Womb Ripper, a name that tells everything you need to know about this gnarly person. Luckily, Sara is safe within her apartment building. The state of it might be dingy, but it's better than being on the street. Leaving this hall and moving down one floor, you can attempt to enter, but not only do we not need to go on that floor, Sara mentions how there's a mean dog that someone keeps out in the hall. Moving down another floor, there's an eerie arrow pointing into the basement. And when opening the door into the basement, the ambience finally sets in. It sounds like the building is breathing, like each blow of wind is an inhale and exhale. Down here, the poor state of the building is even more apparent. An AC unit that is so useless, Sara says you might as well give each resident a pile of firewood. Rat droppings, spiders, porno mags, the latter being noted as possibly being worth something if not drenched in dubious stains. And the worst of all of this, the washer is out of service. Wait, did that door just creak? Now we have a crucial decision here. We can be a normal human being and figure out how to get our clothes clean, or we can be the protagonist in a cheesy horror movie and investigate the noise. I'm only semi-joking here, this game doesn't have deep choice mechanics, but I do enjoy that you can literally just walk away from this situation and never find out what that creak is. But what's the fun in that? This is a video game.
God damn, girl, you scared the bejesus out of me.
I scared you? You scared me. What the hell are you doing creeping around down here?
Look, I'm sorry for scaring you. I'll tell you, but can you keep this to yourself?
Jesus Christ, Joe, you're insane. Yeah, I can. What's up?
The missus kicked me out and it's too cold outside, so I'm trying to wait her out down here. I really didn't mean to creep on you. Honest.
I believe you. Just next time, maybe don't go around slinging doors open and hiding in the dark.
I will. Thanks, kid. Say, if you want to use the washing machine, it's broken.
Yeah, thanks. I figured that out.
This psycho swings a door open, and while I've played this section 3 times and know this was going to happen, I forgot you don't need to interact with the door, which is why the camera wigs out every time I show this clip. It's just a man named Joe, not Joe with an E. This one is special, just Joe. He says we scared the bejesus out of him. I know this is supposed to be funny, but when you think about the context of this, it only gets funnier to me. This dude is just standing still inside of a shut closet as if that's the natural thing for him to do. He goes on to say that the reason he's hiding out scaring people from within the closet is because his wife kicked him out. So, as a normal person does, he stands still within the closet in the basement of a dingy apartment building and not in a place like, I don't know, the lobby. I genuinely hate jump scares, but this game is going for the cheesy 80s horror movie flick, so I'm all here for it. Also, moving forward, I won't intentionally attempt to jump scare the viewer. I will show when it happens in-game, but for your own pleasure, I'm gonna make sure it's not intolerable. After our encounter with Joe, we make our way back upstairs and head to our apartment. Just before we make it there, the nice neighbor that Sara mentioned before is standing outside of his door. This did kind of mess with me the first time I played the game. I don't know why, but it kind of freaked me out the way he was standing there still, just looking at you until you talk to him.
What's up, Sara?
Oh, you know, trying to balance life, school, and job hunting.
It's a tough world these days. Liam been treating you well?
When he isn't drunk. Yeah.
Look, you'll tell me if it gets bad. Yeah, I know it ain't easy to talk about. And you don't have to tell me nothing. Just promise me you'll tell me if you need help. My sister used to be in a bad situation too, and there's places you can go.
I appreciate that, Stan. I really do.
Yeah, sure. You doing some laundry at this time of night?
I'm trying to. Of course, when I really need it, the washer downstairs is broken.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah. And speaking of shit, I have an interview tomorrow, so I guess I'll show up smelling like crap.
Well, if it's an emergency, I heard of this laundromat that's open 24/7, just outside of town. Still early enough to catch the last bus. I'll have to say, though, it's a hell of a time to be out so late, especially with that maniac roaming around.
I'm a big girl, Stan. Do you know the address?
Sure. Let me write it down for you. Just promise me you'll take care, aight?
This short interaction with Stan not only sets him up as the nice neighbor Sara mentioned before, but he's just immediately likable. You can tell that these two are decent friends and she probably confides in him to some degree. Asking her if Liam treats her well and telling her there's a place she can go if she needs help, or maybe he's just trying to riz her up. Either way, he tells us there's a laundromat open late at night. After grabbing our purse and heading downstairs to the lobby, it's only marginally better than the rest of the building. A tipped over shelf, graffiti on the walls, and one of them depicting a girl. Above, it says Amanda. The other depicts a screaming face, and on its forehead, it says Void. I was gonna wait till later to say this, but a lot of this game feels like an Empty Gary's mod map or a Postal 2 area in some ways. Obviously there's NPCs, but in the areas where you aren't really near people very often, the game feels very eerie. There's even a suitcase near the chairs in the room that Sara refuses to touch, saying that she doesn't want to get involved in a drug deal. But then she decides it's okay to talk to the junkie in the corner who's screaming at her.
Are you okay? Can I get you anything?
It's gone. They took it.
Did someone steal something from you?
They took it. The people in the walls. They took it from me. Oh God, she's here now!
I should probably leave him alone.
After his insane rambling, we make our way outside to the bus stop. While waiting for the bus, we can explore this small area. Behind the building, there's a homeless man that offers some encouraging words.
Sure, I have a couple dollars.
Better than nothing, thanks, kid. Haven't seen you around here before.
I moved in not too long ago. I'm usually studying or at my classes, so that's probably why.
Oh, a college girl, huh? What are you studying?
I'm pursuing a career in education at the moment.
Nice, that's what I got my bachelor's in.
Oh, that's great.
If you stay in front of the building, though, there's an eerie car that drives by. No, it's stopped. It's watching us. After some time, it goes away and the bus appears to save us from a potential kidnapping. Stepping onto the bus, we have another crucial decision to make. Talk to the driver or find a seat.
Where are you heading at this hour, if you don't mind me asking?
The laundromat on the outside of town.
Not sure I believe that. Pretty late to be doing laundry. Hey, if you're looking to score, I have a good deal just for a pretty little thing like you. You won't even have to pay cash if you know what I mean.
How about you just drive the bus and I'll pretend you're not a desperate loser?
Whatever, bitch. Sit the fuck down so I can get this piece of junk rolling again.
Talking to the driver, he says some questionable things. I opt to explore the bus a little bit before I sit down. There's a gory Polaroid that Sara comments on, saying it has to be fake, that people have a sick sense of humor. Since there's nothing left to explore on the bus, we find a clean seat and plant ourselves down on the bumpy ride. A man enters the bus. He stands beside us for a prolonged period of time. When I first played this game, I didn't look at the window. It didn't give me the prompt. I guess I didn't look far enough to the right. And so I sat there for like a good couple minutes trying to figure out how to progress the game. And I thought every time I looked away that the man would look at me, but that was just lucky timing, I guess. It made the experience far more terrifying for me.
Hello. May I sit beside you?
There's plenty of other seats, so I don't see why you would need to do that.
May I sit beside you?
Are you deaf? Do I need to get the driver to throw you off?
You're going to die tonight.
What?
You're going to die tonight. I've seen it. Tonight is your last night on Earth. You are walking straight into your doom.
Is this man here to hurt us? Are these words a threat? Or perhaps it's just a red herring? I know this has issues, but like I said, this is meant to be akin to a cheesy 80s horror movie. I love this game because of it. It hits pretty much all the beats of one. The concerned friend, a false scare in the beginning, and now a crazy person giving us a warning. The bus driver tells us we are at our stop, and after a short intro, we enter the second chapter, Plaza.
All right, miss. This is your stop.
We're dropped off at the bus stop. Before we even get a moment to take everything in, a thick atmospheric music sets in. Every time this plays, I feel as though I'm being watched. This feels like the part of the horror movie where you get the killer's point of view, seeing the protagonist vulnerable in an open parking lot. I'll try my best to balance the audio and post for your viewing pleasure, but if you were able to play the game, I would recommend turning the music down a little bit before this part. As someone who is a psycho and has their audio pretty much always at max for their headphones, this kind of made me jump out of my seat. Not that it's bad, just that it was very loud. There are a few stores open at this time of night, those being the laundromat, a pizza joint, an appliance store, and my favorite, Peepaw's. You can't enter any of these stores before entering the laundromat, but before we do, there's some stuff outside that you can investigate. There's an old building that's closed down, which sits next to the laundromat. In front of the closed building sits a parked blue car. Investigating it, Sara remarks how it seems very familiar. If we follow along past the laundromat and into the back alley, there's 2 dumpsters, and one of them contains something disturbing. Before I move forward, I would like to say that I won't be reading literally every item description. This isn't a Bloodborne video yet. And I also just want people who end up playing this game to get some nice little surprises. After this disturbing moment, you can step into the laundromat and ring the bell to talk to the employee, the former not even being remotely necessary. After talking to the employee, I like to borrow the game toy and play it. Porksy's Revenge. The game, despite having some of the most ear-pleasing music, is far more sinister. You can very much tell this when you boot up the game. You play as who I assume is Porksy, and it appears you are running into a cornfield chasing down women with a knife. Slaying each one, the score in the bottom left ticks up by 1 number with each kill until you eventually run into a spike and have your score set to 0. Side note, I don't know how related this is. It probably isn't, but I'll mention it anyways. There's a movie from 1985 called Porky's Revenge about a group of teenage boys on a basketball team who are promised by the cheerleaders that if they win the game, they'll have an orgy. Okay. I have no idea if this handheld game has any relation to the movie, and I didn't see anything on the wiki about murdering women in a cornfield. I just thought it might be something of note given how closely related the names are. Walking around the floor area, there's plenty of laundry machines, along with a guy who's currently doing some laundry.
Doing a late night wash too?
Yeah, I work night shift at the factory down the road. This place is the only one open when I get off work. Was a real pain when the first one burnt down.
First one?
You new around here? Yeah, this place used to be next door years ago. But there was a big fire. I don't think they ever found out exactly what caused it.
That sounds awful.
Girl died in that fire, too. An employee. I don't like to spread rumors, but...
But what?
Pretty mysterious. The way she died, I mean. It wasn't a fire that started quickly. She should have had plenty of time to get out. But she was found in the office. I heard they were close to opening up a murder investigation. That a detective thought the girl was locked in, but then decided to drop it when nobody came up. You know, cops. Lazy sons of bitches.
Well, if that's true, it does sound pretty suspect.
Sure does. Feels like it got swept under the rug pretty quick, what with the womb ripper coming around and butchering those women. That has all the headlines these days.
He says that he gets out late at his job and this is the only time he can do his laundry. On the table, there's a comic you can pick up and read. I will wait till the end of the video to talk about each comic, but this one is called Urban Legends. On the far wall, there's a phone, and when interacting with it, Sara remarks how the only person she can call is hungover. Following this wall, there's a remote for a TV on the opposite corner of the room where we can watch some seriously cool TV shows. I'm not joking, the quality of this is actually really good. They even have Dracula on it.
Different forms at will. Sometimes it appears as a bat, and sometimes as a small cloud of swirling vapor. In this way it can move unseen among its enemies.
Son of Dracula, searing the screen with new terror in this weird tale of the living dead who rise...
If you move through the building, you may end up near the bathrooms, and when trying to open the doors, you find out they're locked. Sarah remarks how this is weird, but I guess she isn't aware of the crazy things people get up to in there. Looking around the back of the building, near the change dispenser, there's a wall that looks as though it's been tampered with. Odd. After obtaining our coins and starting the laundry, by the way, I love the animation for this, it's so simple but smooth, we can finally explore each place in the plaza. Also, I want to note that the timer on the washing machine does actually work. I tested it on my phone, and by that I mean I set an equally timed timer. On our way back from the change dispenser, if we pass by the phone, we get a strange call. And when stepping outside, we hear a similar noise, only louder and as though it's somewhere off in the distance. It sounds like it could be a child, but what child can make such a loud noise? Now, being completely free to roam the plaza, exploring each store, I will begin with my favorite, Peepaw's. Peepaw's, instantly when you walk into the store, it's apparent at first to be a sort of general store, but when you talk to Peepaw, he gives a basic rundown of what he sells.
Can I help you? Looking for anything specific? A movie? A video game? Fish?
No, just browsing, thanks.
Alright, well, let me know if you need any help. And don't you even think about stealing anything. I have eyes everywhere.
Wouldn't dream of it. You have quite an assortment of things. What kind of store is this again?
It's Peepaw's. I'm Peepaw. It's my store.
Right.
Love him already. This guy knows business. I've never walked into a store that not only sold video games and movies, but also fish and questionable movies along with them. I'm wrong. I have entered a Walmart before. They used to sell fish, but apparently they stopped in 2019. Anyways, Peepaw's is better. He even has a Ouija board here that jump scares you because the game developers absolutely hate your eardrums. I seriously do love this store though. There's a large assortment of video games and movies that have interesting premises and art. Sara seems like she's the avid film collector and gamer as she's played and seen a lot of the films and movies in the store. But to her own surprise, there's a game that she didn't even know existed. Peepaw. Starring Peepaw. I'm not kidding. The art is even funnier since it appears to be a crackhead lunging towards a kid. And since the store is so close to the laundromat, they even sell detergent. Oh, what a wonderful name. There's seriously a lot of fun stuff to inspect in Peepaw's. It's easily one of the best stores in the plaza with its large variety of parody products. If you move to the back of the store, past the beaded curtains with the 18+ signs near the door, we enter the adult section of the store. Back here, Sara has some interesting statements about the action these men are performing on the women, and even what the women are doing to the other women. When exiting the door, the unthinkable happens.
Ha! Gotcha. So you're not stealing anything? My apologies.
This man is paranoid as all hell that somebody is going to steal his precious items. So much so that he will go out of his way to wait for people to round a corner and scare the shit out of them. Truly a class act. With that, I think it's safe to say I've explored most if not all of Peepaw's, and now I'm ready to move on to the next store. And like I said, I'm going to leave some stuff out because it's not integral to the game, but I also want people to have a reason to want to play the game. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff to inspect in these games. And it's like I said, like $5. You should support the creator. It feels so uncomfortable to step out of any of these stores and feel the ambience. No matter how many times I've played this game, I feel as though I'm always being watched. Everything about the outside of the plaza makes me feel so uncomfortable. The near empty lot, crickets chirping, buzzing of the lights near each store, all of this is working up an appetite. I think I'll grab a slice of pizza.
Sorry, didn't see you there. Can I get you anything?
No thanks. I'm just killing time until my laundry next door is done.
Well, you're out late. Just a heads up, we're closing soon. Feel free to hang out until then, though.
Sadly though, the employee doesn't have much to say at the moment, though he did say we can stay a while and listen. Yes, I did just force a Deckard Cain Diablo reference, sue me. There's also an arcade game in here, Rum Bums, that I really couldn't figure out how to properly play. You take control as a nude guy, and if you smash into the cops, you get a higher score, but if you smash into too many, then you lose the game. I don't know if you have to wait a couple seconds before smashing into the other cops, or if you are supposed to just ignore them. Either way, it's another one of the few games you can play in Bloodwash. There isn't really anything of interest here yet, but in a few minutes we'll get some items that we can question people about. So with that, it's on to our final store, Appliance Store. Yes, that's the name. Very straightforward.
Ah, customer. Looking for a TV, toaster, blender?
Sorry, I'm just browsing.
Oh, what kind of person just browses appliance stores at this time of night?
I'm just waiting on my laundry.
Well then, why don't you just buy a washer and dryer here? We have the newest models at the lowest prices.
No offense, but I feel like you're the newest thing in the store.
Why, thank you. I do take pride in my appearances.
This guy has a great spirit. After being told the newest thing in the store is him, he takes it as a compliment. Gotta love the enthusiasm. His name is also Greasy Manager. If the graphics weren't so pixelated, I'm sure we would see this guy with some greasy comb over. As I said before, this is just another basic appliance store and pretty much something else to fill your time with. I really like the internal monologue Sara has for this store in particular. Each stickered item that says wow, when inspected, she says wow. Among the appliances in here, there's a lockbox, but there's no apparent code in sight to unlock it. I lied by omission earlier. Remember when I talked about how we can go to the back of the plaza and inspect the dumpsters? Well, I left out that there's a piece of paper on the ground with a code on it, 0451. If you know, you know. Within the lockbox, there's a photograph of a man and a woman. On the back of it, it reads, Samantha. Back in the pizza joint, there was a missing persons page on the wall next to the arcade machine. Both of these items and one more we get shortly after this can be brought to each NPC and inquired about. Random side note, but when the pizza guy said we are free to hang out until he closes, I went back into the store to eat my leftover burrito. That's not necessary to the video, but it was just a wonderful experience. When asking each NPC about the Polaroid, they have this to say. Pizza Dude mentions something interesting, and yes, that literally is the NPC's name, referring to the man as a creep and that she disappeared. During my inquiries about the Polaroid and missing people, a newspaper appears on the bench in front of the laundromat. It tells us that the building next door to the laundromat was actually a laundromat as well, but the text is too faded to clearly make out. With this, we can continue our investigation. To Peepaw's we go. He says the disappearances have been going on for years, and more interestingly that they started right after the old laundromat caught fire. Not only did it burn down, but the woman working there was never found. Not even her bones were in the wreckage. Her body was never confirmed as dead, she just vanished. Peepaw easily has some of the most intriguing insight about every item in the game that we bring him. He not only confirms that Lewis is the man in the photo, but that he was the violent type. This is why I say you should talk to absolutely everyone in the game and inspect every item. It really is worth it. While this isn't required to complete the game, it only enriches it. The general runtime I've had each time I've played the game while also inspecting every item is roughly 2.5 hours. I much prefer this short but very much filled game than a long, boring snooze fest. I'm gonna go into a tangent here, so bear with me please. I really dislike it when people want games to be hundreds of hours long, not realizing that the quality of the game is far more valuable than any amount of time within. For example, with Resident Evil 3 Remake, I don't believe there's any amount of time in the world that could make that game good, as they took out iconic locations and puzzles to the game, while also totally nerfing Nemesis. The game could have been better, not with a more lengthy playtime, but better quality of the overall product, keeping in puzzles and locations, which yes, that would in turn extend the playtime, but as I mentioned before, a lengthy playtime doesn't equate to a well-crafted game. I'm done, by the way, with this tangent. The last of what Peepaw has to say is with the newspaper about the laundromat. This is some of the last bit of dialogue from the store owners, by the way. With most of the dialogue worn out and having explored all, if not most of the plaza, I opt to make my way back to the laundromat and put my clothes in the dryer. Before I get my laundry, I have one more person I can talk to with each item.
Yeah, sad day. Used to do my laundry there, and let me tell you, it was a lot better than this shithole. Had this real hot chick working there too. Shame she got pregnant. Had real potential to be a passenger on the D train, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah, that's Lewis. And the hot broad who used to work for him. He always was a slick bastard.
With that done, we can take out our laundry and... Someone is messing with us. This couldn't have been there before, could it? It probably was that patron messing with us when we weren't looking. You can take the head to each NPC and get a reaction out of them for quality content.
Not my kind of doll, if you know what I mean.
That looks cursed. You should get a priest for that.
That's not creepy at all.
Not interested. I only sell the highest of quality items here.
With a head now in our inventory, we can start the laundry. Wait, did someone ring the bell? Oh, it's the bathroom key. Well, maybe the employee figured he should leave it out while we do our laundry. If you enter the women's bathroom, you'll find another comic, and if you enter the men's... There's someone in here with us. Maybe this is the creep that put the head out on the counter behind us. I don't want to be in here. I think it's best that I leave. When did someone have the time to put this here? It's a mannequin, but it looks like it's pregnant? Well, with all of the NPC's dialogue worn out and nothing but time on our hands, we can wait for the dryer to be done. The clothes are still wet. I need to talk to the employee.
It's the employee. He's been ripped to shreds. I need to call the police.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? My name is Sara. You need to send someone now. I'm at the...
Dispatch said they got a call coming from out here.
We take control of an officer. It's been only 20 minutes, but every store in the plaza is now closed. You can believe the first thing I did as Officer Burton was not investigate the laundromat, but the dumpsters, only to find out the dialogue is reused from Sara. I know I said this game has a lot of detail when it comes to inspecting every item, but that sort of drops off while playing as Officer Burton. He does have his own dialogue for certain items, but not until you get into the next area. When trying to open the laundromat doors, they're locked. Why would Sara lock the doors if she needs help? We didn't even leave the counter while we were playing as her. I swear that crying sound sounds like it's something out of House Beneviento from Resident Evil 8.
Hello? Is anyone there? This is the police. If anyone is there, then come out now.
There's something wrong here. I better investigate thoroughly.
It's a tax office. This is one of the previously unexplorable spaces. We step inside, making ourselves known to any employees. It appears empty. This space offers some unique dialogue from Officer Burton. He uses his investigation skills to discover that one of the employees has been stealing lunch from another. Pressing forward through the halls, the lights go out.
What the fuck was that? Holy Jesus. Was it holding a child?
I must mention that you shouldn't crank the FOV all the way up. It just doesn't look right when you have a firearm out. The tension here, though, it's perfectly disturbing. So many locked doors and not enough light. But after some light exploration, we found a key and can squeeze through this maze of assorted documents. Only to be greeted with a locked door. We need to backtrack.
Oh my god, am I glad to see you! You gotta help me. There's some crazy person running around with a knife!
Slow down. It's okay. Just follow me, and I'll get you out of here. Shit. There has to be another way out of here.
I did try to shoot that thing, but unfortunately the developers hate you and don't want you to save the day. After climbing into the vents, and we died. There's nothing we can do to save Sara now. I will say that with the womb ripper here, it does kind of kill the tension for me just seeing it do this silly little animation. I feel like you should have had it pop out and not do the animation, just have it go to black. I think there's a couple different ways you could have had this animation play or this scene play where it doesn't kind of kill the tension and possible fright the player may have. The door is locked. Well, we're fucked. Better enjoy our time while we have it. After picking up the hammer and heading to the center of the store, there's a baby monitor above a washer, and outside of it is splayed guts. Someone is singing on the other end. Oh, and ignore the weird physics on the guts. I don't know why that's happening. Maybe it's my FPS. I downloaded too much online.
The cradle will fall and down.
If you make your way to the back of the store, to the odd-looking wall from before, you can pry it open and enter the old laundromat. This looks like something right out of Silent Hill. Moving forward, and after another jump scare, we find a newspaper detailing the disappearance of the lead suspect for the burning and killing of a young woman, Lewis Kennedy. If this guy burned down the laundromat, maybe he accidentally killed that girl, and since she was pregnant, he would have in turn lost his kid. So that might be who this womb ripper character is. We step into a room with broken equipment and missing person posters lining the wall. Could these be trophies? We're at a dead end. There's nowhere to go, and the womb ripper is closing in on us. We need to find a way out. Lucky for us, there's a hidden passageway behind the filing cabinet. We flee through. It's even worse here. Rust covers the floors and the machines and pipes scream with steam. We have nowhere else to go but forward, with the womb ripper hot on her tail. There's a body hanging near a mattress. The hallway leads to a locked door. Another dead end? If we backtrack a little bit, there's a note on the floor from a victim who said that she was made to swallow a key, and a scalpel lays next to a skinned face. We know what we have to do. On the other side of the door, there lays a corpse at the end of the hall.
Oh my god. It's a corpse. It looks like it's been here for years. There's a wallet sticking out of his pocket. What? The driver's license belongs to Lewis Kennedy. But this doesn't make any sense. I need to get out of here and call the police.
If that's Lewis, then who's been chasing us around the whole night? There's another door nearby. It's locked, with bloody text next to it. Find the child. After further exploration, we find a handgun. It appears to have a forearm attached to it. It's likely Officer Burton. Unfortunately, we don't have any ammo, so we have to keep looking. A hall stretches out, lined with washing machines, blood swishing inside all of them. Rounding back through the area, we cross a plank and acquire some ammunition. Upon returning, we narrowly step back onto solid ground before it collapses. We shoot the lock off the door and enter the lowest area of the building to challenge the Womb Ripper.
Come out, you asshole! I'm ready for you!
This might not look it, but this is genuinely tense and always gets me on edge. One last time, the Womb Ripper attacks Sara, and we finally get our closure.
It all makes sense now. Lewis Kennedy wasn't killing all those women. It was Samantha. After Lewis locked her in the laundromat and burned it down, she survived. And she must have lost her baby, though. With almost being killed, losing her child, and being terribly burned, she completely snapped. She killed Lewis, and then set her sights on killing others who had something she didn't. Oh, God.
Well, that's Bloodwash. It was short and sweet. I think it's one of those games to play with your pals around Halloween when everyone's a little bit tipsy. One of my favorite parts of the game is that Sara pretty much has something to say about every item in the game. Even though playing as Officer Burton, the dialogue is reused at some parts in the plaza, the overall quality is still pretty good. I meant to bring it up earlier, but the voice acting in general is really well done as well, and especially so for Sara. Even though there's some obvious plot holes in the story, the kind of thing the game is going for renders those null for me. It's trying to go for cheesy horror, something you'd find at a blockbuster per se. And I know that's kind of like a cop-out saying that I don't really care about the plot holes, but this isn't going for some deep storytelling. The music is also really well done too, with tension but also with relaxation. I think of the pizza joint as a more relaxing area to hang out, and I'd also love the Porksy's Revenge music the most in particular. Wait, you didn't think that's where it ended, did you? I'm gonna let this last section play out without my commentary.
Well, I was pretty upset to be woken up so late for an impromptu autopsy. But when they told me that it was the actual Womb Ripper, well, I got down here as soon as I could. I can't believe that it turned out to be Samantha Rhodes, who'd gone missing and was presumed dead years ago.
When I first opened this game, I really had no idea what I was in for. When I typically buy games, especially ones that I know nothing about, I generally like to go in blind. Yeah, what a concept. Of course I'll look at some non-spoiler reviews and some screenshots and maybe some videos, but for the most part, I don't really want to know what I'm in for. Usually, and this is mostly because ever since I played Dark Souls and Bloodborne, I'd like to just not know what I'm in for. It makes my experience all the more enriching. What really caught me in this game was how different it was from other games I play in general. I'm aware this isn't the deepest horror game ever made, and it really didn't scare me outside of the jump scares, but I think it really does the 80s cheesy horror movie pretty well. I love all the details from the TV that actually works, or how Sara will comment on almost every item and all of it feels like it belongs in an 80s horror movie. Some of the descriptions of the items and the way Sara will just say that she's watched this movie or played that game, it all reminds me of hanging out with someone at a store and they're just talking about a media that they like. Or just general item descriptions, stuff that feels like actual thoughts in someone's head. Looking at clean cabinets and being proud they've been clean for as long as they have been. I swear I've had that thought about my room before. The voice acting is also pretty good too, or maybe it's just the quality of the microphone the developers used. I really love the line deliveries for some, and if not most, of the characters. Sara, Stan, and of course Peepaw are definitely my top 3, but I can't leave out the man with red glasses who harasses Sara on the bus. I also want to mention that the music is one of the better parts and tone setters for the game as well, composed by Mixin, or according to the wiki, known as KC Luna, but I will leave a link to Mixin's YouTube channel. I know 100% that's one of the people who helped compose the music for the game. I couldn't find any clear links, but there's also someone else who's credited in the game's credits as Keller Cascola. Not sure where to find their channel or their socials, but I did want to mention that as well. I also wanted to say that I love the vibe and the VHS filter paired with the CRT filter on the game. I really like it when games go for aesthetics over sheer graphical fidelity. Because of that, I can easily see this game holding up in terms of graphics better in 10 years than over something like a Mind's Eye. Also, one more thing. I know I mentioned earlier that I would talk about the comics in the game, but I kind of want to leave that a mystery for anyone who intends to buy the game, so you have something new that I didn't cover in the video. I will say this much though, the Urban Legends, the first one you find, is easily my favorite of the bunch, and not gonna lie, a large part of that is because I love the art style. Like I said earlier, this isn't like the deepest game ever made, but I do enjoy a simple game every now and then. The game knows exactly what it's about, and it leans entirely into those tropes, and I think it does it in a pretty good way as well. Like, there's other horror games out there that I would probably cite as being more terrifying than this, but this is just a nice little fun game to put on in the background and play and get a couple scares out of your pals who never played it before. If I really had to change like anything, it would probably fix some of the text boxes when you're playing as the officer and he finds the bloody clothes. Like, I don't get why they didn't think that anyone would go back there. It's not like a huge plot hole, but it did like kind of ruin my immersion. And I would also add in some more items to inspect when exploring the pizza place and appliance store. I kind of feel like those were a little bit of an afterthought. They didn't feel as fleshed out as Peepaw's. Oh, I would also like turn down the Ouija board music because that's extremely unbearable, and even when I expect it, it's not something I want to hear, and I don't know why it's gotten me as many times as it has gotten me. Oh, and you can turn the CRT and VHS filters off in case any of you don't like that, and I really respect the creators for allowing that, because I could easily see someone being turned away from the game and just being like, nah, I'm not gonna play this because I feel motion sick just from watching it. So in case you weren't gonna play this because of that, then well, now you don't have a choice. You have to. You have no reason not. But yeah, this was a very short but interesting game that is honestly well worth my $7, so I hope it's worth yours. And if you're looking for a neat little interactive horror flick, then I'd say give it a go. I mean, I'm also all about supporting indie devs in general, so that's usually just good enough for me to buy a half-decent indie game anyways. So yeah, with that, I want to say I appreciate all of you for making it this far in the video, and I hope you all have a good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
May I sit beside you?
Sit the fuck down.
She's here now!
Poor guy.